Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see how to extract intraday bank Nifty options EOD data from NSE using Python. Okay, let's start. First, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the nseindia.com website, and in the website, I'm going to click on market data, and under market data, I'm going to select option chain because that's where all the bank Nifty and the Nifty option chain data is available. Okay. So it lands me in the Nifty page, but I am focused on Bank Nifty. So once I click on Bank Nifty, I will be able to see the calls and puts data over here. So all the in the money, out of the money calls are and puts are over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select in the money put option over here, 48,200. That's where it is in the money. And I'm going to select the call option over here. So simply I just have to click on the price. Once I click on the price, it will take me to a new tab where it will give me all the details about the call option. Okay. So I am getting a lot of details over here. The primary data I am focused on is the intraday chart over here. So once you click on this, you will be able to see how the call option has actually fared throughout the day. Okay, so today actually the market has closed. Now the everything is over. Now what we are going to do is we are going to simply get the data and convert it into um any format we will like, because the data you see over here, it's 1 second data. 1 second data is like very highly granular, but we primarily work with 5 minutes, 2 minutes, or 15 minutes candles, which are actually great for intraday trading. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this data and get it into a perfect OHLC candle format and then use it for analysis. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we're going to set up Visual Studio Code in order to extract this data. Okay, so let's go to Visual Studio Code first. So once you land on Visual Studio, you will see a welcome page. Just click on new file. By default, you might see only two options. I have installed Jupyter Notebook extension, so I will get an option called Jupyter Notebook. So I'm going to click on that. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use VS Code. Use whatever the IDE you like. Okay. So I have the IDE ready. Okay. Now I'm going to start with the import functions. Okay, I'm going to import both pandas and requests packages because those two are the primary ones we work with. Okay, pandas and import requests. Okay, just click on shift enter and it will run. I'm going to click on, okay, it's asking for me, it's asking for the kernel. I'm going to select the base kernel over here, and now the kernel is starting and it will run. Okay. Okay, so the code has run. Now the next step is to create the headers column for actually getting the data from NSE website. If you are someone who has been following me throughout my videos, you will understand how NSE actually restricts the scraping of data. But if you are someone new to this video channel, means try to understand this. Okay. So NSE actually has given the data over here openly, right? It it doesn't allow any programmers to actually get the data automatically, because then it will be like free data and no one actually wants that. So in order to make it hard to scrape, they actually create like dynamic cookies and some other variables uh, inside the cookie variables. Okay, so whenever you place a request, they will understand whether it is coming from a browser or coming from a Python platform or something like that. Okay. So what we are going to do now is we are going to actually emulate a browser in order to get the data for educational purposes. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are in the page where we can see the intraday chart. I'm actually going to click on F12 in order to open the dev tools. Okay. And in dev tools, I'm going to select the network tab over here, and I'm going to click on fetch XHR over here because fetch XHR will actually give you only the HTTP request and nothing else, okay? Because the HTTP request will contain the data. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply refresh the page. The reason why I'm refreshing it, I need to find which HTTP request is containing this data. Option chain, I'm sorry, the options price data. Okay, so I have refreshed it. The page has loaded. Now I'm going to the dev tools, and as you saw, previously it was blank. Now it is actually coming up over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the HTTP request. Okay, so this is the one which is containing the data. I have did some homework to actually find this one out. Okay, and once you click on here, you will see all the details of the request URL. And if you go to the preview section, you will see the data over here. Okay, so the close price is saying that it's 233 rupees, and the graph th data is actually saying that it's actually containing all the 1 second granular data which I just spoke about. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we're going to create the headers. Like I said, we're going to create the headers to emulate a browser, and then we are going to get this graphed data column. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to create the headers section in Visual Studio Code first, and then we are going to get all the required details from Chrome. So we need to uh, change the referrer and the cookie. Okay, so I have actually used about 7 different values in a header. You can get all these details in the browser over here. Look at this. Yeah, here, accept encoding, language, cookie, everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the cookie, and once I get the cookie, I'm going to paste it in. Okay, I have the cookie now ready. Now I'm going to just mention the referrer, and the referrer is over here. Okay, okay, and referrer should be mentioned over here. Click on Shift Enter. Now we have everything in place. Now I'm going to get the data. Okay, I'm going to create a column called response in order to store the value. I'm going to invoke the request package and using a get URL. Okay, and yeah, IntelliSense is coming up. You can just give the URL value here. And what is the URL we are going to scrap from? We are going to get that from the uh, request over here. Here it says request URL, right? So you just have to copy paste it here. And again, I'm going to mention the headers as headers. Shift enter. Yeah, now we got the data back. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a variable called bank nifty in order to store the value. Okay, so let's just say bank nifty is equal to I'm going to store it in the form of a data frame. That's what I was going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the data from the response variable we created just above, request.json. And as we saw in the request page, the data is actually residing under the residing under the variable called graph th data. Okay, so I'm going to paste that over here and click on Shift Enter. It's ready now. So I'm going to do a small bank nifty dot head. Yes, we got the data. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the column names of it, and I'm going to convert the column from epoch time to normal time. Okay, so I'm going to just put bank nifty dot, let's change the column names. Okay, timestamp comma price. Okay, also let's just change the epoch time also. Okay, So what I'm going to do is let's do it one by one. Now let's do a bank nifty of timestamp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to convert it into a date time format because we need the uh, time time in a timestamp format and not in the epoch timestamp format. Okay, bank nifty of timestamp. All right. Now, and I'm going to mention the unit over here. It's going to be in milliseconds. Milliseconds. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this Banknifty dot head column, and yes, I can see the data in a perfect format. Okay. Now, as we can see, as we got the data in perfect shape, now I'm going to just do a simple plot. Okay, I'm going to just do a bank nifty dot plot to just see how the data looks. Okay, timestamp, timestamp, comma y is equal to price. Now let's see how the data is showing up. Okay, the data is showing in a perfect format. We can see from 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock to 3:30 or so. Okay, so we have got the data. The data is in perfect shape, and it's in a 1 second data. Now what I'm going to do is do um, I'm going to actually convert this data into a 5 minute candle. Okay, so based on I'm going to convert it into 5 minute candle, and if you are interested, just convert it into any format you like. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another column called df 5 minutes, and I'm going to use the bank nifty data, and I'm going to get the price column from it, and there is a function called resample. So what resample will do is it will convert it into OHLC data, which is already, which I think you might know what it does mean. So let's click on OHLs and let's click on OHLC. All right. Now this price, based on this price column, we are going to convert it into OHLC. Daytime index. Okay, that makes sense. So we need the uh, index of the data frame to be in a timestamp format. Okay, because the index actually now is in 0, 1, 2, 3 format like you see over here, but it needs to be in timestamp format. Okay, we already have the timestamp, but we haven't actually mentioned it in the index column. So I'm going to just put bank nifty dot index is equal to bank nifty of timestamp. Okay, now this should work. Perfect. It ran within like 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a simple head to see the data. The data is in perfect shape now. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to test the data whether if there are any NA values or and all is there. Okay, so I'm going to just simply do a df min of info. So when I do an info, I will most probably able to see if all of them are non-null, because it should be non-null. All the values should be there, and I can see that 75 entries, meaning 75 rows of data, and all 75 of them for all columns is not null. So that is the data I require. Now, in order to just test it again, I'm going to actually plot the data to see if it is looking good. Okay, I'm going to copy the function from above, paste it here, put dot timestamp. Okay, now actually there is no uh, column called a timestamp in df5min, so I'm going to just create it saying dm timestamp. This is actually the trade time, so we can just get it from index again. Index. Okay, the timestamp column is ready. Price, let me just mention it as close actually. Okay, Nice. From 9 o'clock to 3 and a half 3:30 p.m. we have the data over here without any breaks. And this is how you actually get the data. Simple and effective, isn't it? If you are someone who is actually interested in learning more and you are interested in creating your own analysis and doing your own research, I already have an Udemy course in place. More than 1,000 students have already tried it out, and it's very, very recently priced. I have actually covered a lot of topics, including backtesting and performance measurement. And the good thing is, you don't need to have a whole knowledge of Python or anything. You can simply just use ChatGPT uh, to actually create your own code, and I'm going to guide you through all of it in this course. Okay, so I'm going to give the courses link in the description below. Try it out, and you will be really surprised how much you can learn in less than 4 hours. Okay, thank you. Good luck.